Hey y'all, how long has it been? Um, Probably a month and a half. Um, Welcome back. I just want to get on here and let y'all know that I'm still around. I just got done eating salad, so hopefully I don't have Caesar in my teeth. But if I do, y'all don't worry about it. We'll be fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Um, Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back to my channel. um, so about 6 weeks, probably. I'd have to go back and look at my last video. I think it was a car haul. We were shopping, everybody was happy, and then crash. So I just want to get on here real quick and do an update. So what are we on? November the 13th. Um, so we all came down with COVID. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Although it's sweeping the nation, it's sweeping the world. It hit my house? What? So I thought I'd give you guys an update, tell you a little bit about my COVID experience, because I have had a lot of questions. A lot of questions about symptoms. What was it like? Are you okay? Before I get into all of that, those of you who follow me on Instagram and Facebook already know that COVID found us. And there has been many of you praying for me and my family. And I want to say thank you for all your prayers, your love, support, porch drops, phone calls, texts. I mean, I couldn't believe the outpouring of love. So I just want to take a second and appreciate all of you and let you know um, that prayer works, and I I cannot thank you enough. So still out of breath, a little bit, but let's just start from the beginning. I won't drag this out. I know there's 999 million COVID video testimonies out there, but for you guys, for my people, for those who are wondering, and where I've been. Um, so it was, let's see, it's Friday the 13th, November. So about 5 weeks ago, it was a Sunday. Shane and I went to Lowe's. We bought paint because we had torn out the ceiling. We're going to paint the kitchen. So I'm buying ceiling fans and light fixtures and paint for the kitchen, and we're tearing the kitchen out, and we're going and blowing all weekend. And Sunday we get home, and I'm like, I just don't feel good. I'm tired. My sinuses, my allergies. That's how it starts. I just don't feel good. Did I think I had COVID? No. Um, and went ahead and just kind of went to bed early and didn't think too much about it. Woke up Monday, felt kind of cruddy, and went to work. Um, I pushed through work all day Monday and I just didn't feel good. And I told the girls, I'm like, I just don't feel good. And I told my boss, I said, I'm telling you right now, there's a huge chance I'm probably not going to be here tomorrow. And she's like, okay. I said, so I work for a medical staffing company. I'm the recruiting supervisor. And so, because we're a medical staffing company, we also do COVID testing right there in office. Excuse me, I just ate a huge Caesar salad. Anyway, I know I ate a huge Caesar salad at what time is it? 8:11 at night. I was hungry. Um, anyway, I told my boss, I said, there's a huge chance, it's about 99% chance I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I said, I'm going to come back tomorrow because I want you to swab me because I need to know. Let's find out. And they're like, yes, yes, yes. So go home Sunday and I go to bed. No, I go home Monday after work and I'm in bed. I am exhausted. Like, and that's all I kept saying all day Monday is I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Y'all know me, I don't get tired. Like rarely. And I could not believe the lethargy that was taking over me. I just was like, what is happening? So Sunday, I just went to bed like sedated. Woke up Monday morning, could not even, I felt like I'd been roofied. COVID roofies you. So I felt like if you've ever had surgery and you're coming out of anesthesia and you're just trying to wake up and you just can't, and you're just trying to come out of anesthesia and you can't, that's what it feels like. So Monday morning, I just couldn't even function, and I did not want to go back up to the office because it's a good 20-minute drive that I drive to work, and I did not want to go. And I was talking to my friend Charity on Marco Polo. Shane had got up and went to work because he said, yeah, I don't feel real good either, but it's just my allergies. I'm going to work. Great. So I told my boss, I sent her a text, and I'm like, I'm gonna prop you guys up on my purse. I'm sorry, I don't have my tripod. You'll be fine. So Sunday, I was just like, or Monday morning, I woke up feeling worse, and I texted my boss, and I'm like, I'm not coming into work. I said, but I am coming up there so you guys can test me. So I come up there, and I was crying the whole way driving myself because I felt so bad. I didn't know if I could make it. I just felt so bad. I just cried and cried. And I got up there, they swabbed me, and it was a rapid test. It was a 15-minute rapid test. And I said, I'm not going to stay. I'm just swab my nose, and I'm going home, and I'm going back to bed. I wasn't even out of the parking lot hardly. And they swabbed me because I just drove up, and the girls came outside and swabbed me because they didn't want me inside. And I wasn't even barely out of the parking lot on the road, and they called me. The test wasn't even done yet, but it had already lit up like a Christmas tree. And they're like, it doesn't look good, you're positive. So I'm like, okay, which I kind of, part of me was surprised, like, what? The other part of me was like, of course. So, anyway, I called Shane immediately. I called him immediately, and I said, you need to drop what you're doing, and you need to go by my office and let the girls swab you. I said, they know you're coming, just pull around the back and go get tested. And he's like, oh my God, you're positive. And I said, yes, you need to go get tested. So he stopped immediately, and he went up to Total and drove around back, and the girls came out and they tested him, and his lit up quicker than mine did. So, I mean, they waited the proper time and they put it in the machine and all that, but we were so severely positive that it's like a pregnancy test. It just popped up immediately. So we're both positive. Okay, so we both come home without all the details. I would just want to tell you what my symptoms were. So the first week, so let me just start right out of the gate. It took me 28 days. Day number 28 was the very first day that I was able to not use my nebulizer, my breathing machine, and I came off meds, and I was actually not hurting in my lungs. Okay, so we'll start there. 28 days. I still feel the residual from it, but I'm back to life. So anyway, the first week, I couldn't hardly get out of bed. The exhaustion and the lethargy was overwhelming. I felt like I was just sedated, like somebody had just sedated me. Hadn't hit my lungs yet. Y'all know I'm a severe asthmatic. Breathing treatments are a regular way of life for me in the fall and in the winter. In the spring and summer, I put my nebulizer, I pack it away because I don't need it, and I just use my inhaler. I take 4 medications every day to keep my lungs open, just normal, healthy. So when COVID hit me, I got scared. So the first week, it didn't bother my lungs any worse than they already were. I never ran a fever, but I got hot cold. If I ran a fever, I didn't know it. I don't even have a thermometer in my house. All the kids are grown. I probably should, but I don't. I probably got a little warm. If I had a fever, it's probably 99 or 100. Had a fever, or I don't know if I had a fever, but I would get real hot, and then I'd get real cold, and then I'd get real hot, and then I'd get real cold. A headache like you would not believe. The headache and the lethargy the first week was just exhausting. And I thought, I'm going to be okay and I'm going to get through this without it touching my lungs. Week 2 rolls around and I start getting short of breath. And I'm like, damn. I start getting short of breath. I'm still exhausted. And in that second week, I would have a good day to where I could take out the trash or put a load of laundry in the dryer. Like, it wiped us out to the point to where we couldn't even do laundry or the dishes or anything. We were down in bed. And meanwhile, Shane's positive with me and we're just doing this thing together, right? So his symptoms are very similar to mine. So the second week, good days, bad days, I call my doctor. I had to go get tested also. So I had my rapid test at work, but my boss wanted me to go get a test that they send off to the lab. So a few days after I tested positive, I went to Warren Clinic. They tested me. Of course, it was positive. And they said, if you need anything, you just come back into the clinic. Well, into my second week, I'm starting to use my nebulizer. I call my doctor. I just need advice. What do I need to do? Because I'm a lung patient. And they said, if you need anything, let's go ahead. If you want a round of antibiotics, which doesn't do anything, a round of antibiotics and a round of steroids. We're going to keep that on backup if you need it. So I called my doctor. Let's do the round of steroids. Let's do the antibiotics. So we did all that. Meanwhile, I'm shoving vitamin D, a multivitamin, elderberry, my Singulair, my nebulizer, my inhaler, my Flonase, apple cider vinegar. I am cramming my body full of all of the things, the vitamins, minerals, zinc, all of that. So the second week, I get my steroids. Well, you guys know that steroids make you feel like you can conquer the world, right? I mean, I start taking my steroids and I'm like, I'm a whole new person. So I'm able to, at the end of my second week, by Thursday and Friday, I'm like, I'm getting through this thing. Like day 11, I'm kicking COVID ass, right? Pardon my French, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm like texting my boss. I'm like, I'm going to be back at work on Monday. You guys can test me again. I'm going to be back at work. So I'm feeling incredible. Not incredible, but feeling great. Like I'm getting on the hump of things. So I'm able to do things. I still get real tired real quick. I still get real winded, and I'm doing 4 breathing treatments a day in my second week. But I feel good, right? But my lungs are real heavy. Like they're heavy, and they hurt. Not like asthma. It's different than that. It feels like you have a cinder block sitting on your chest, and every breath you try to take, you have to push that cinder block up, and it's the worst. Well, with those steroids, prednisone, I thought I was winning. So Monday, so I rest for 2 weeks. So Monday, I'm going back to work. And I even posted on Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, I'm back at work. I feel incredible. So I pushed through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday rolls around. Week 3. Friday of week 3. COVID is a liar. Some days you feel incredible and you're over it. You think you're over it. And then the next day or two, it will slam you back down on your back. So I pushed through work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday rolls around and I'm tired, but I'm doing it. I'm taking my nebulizer to work. I'm doing a breathing treatment before work. I'm doing 2 breathing treatments after work. I'm doing one when I get home, but my energy is back up. And I'm okay. I'm doing the things. Friday rolls around and I took a dive. Friday of week 3, I took a dive. So that whole week I'd been at work. Friday I took a dive, and about 3 o'clock my boss goes, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Get out of here, go home. And I said, okay, look, I didn't argue. So I get home Friday and the weight on my chest, I went back to work too soon. I wasn't ready yet. The weight on my chest was worse in week 3. So I had finished my first round of steroids. Okay, so week 3, I come home Friday early and I lay down and I come upstairs and I do a breathing treatment. Shane's downstairs because his whole office had shut down because they all got COVID. So he's at home still. So I come upstairs and I do a breathing treatment. And then I come downstairs and Shane is sitting on the couch and he looks at me and he said, "Are you okay?" And I just broke. I just got overwhelmed, and forgive me if I cry. I broke and literally had a nervous breakdown. I had a panic attack like you would not believe. I had a panic attack. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And I started crying and I said, "No." I said, "I'm not okay." I said, "I don't want to be sick again." I said, "I've been doing good all week long." I said, "And now I feel like I'm crashing again. I'm crashing." Meanwhile, I've been trying to get a hold of my doctor for 4 days. Nobody will call me back. I told Shane, I said, "I can't breathe and I feel like there's an elephant sitting on my chest." And I said, "I'm scared. I'm scared." I said, I don't know if I need to go to the ER. Do I need to get a nebulizer or a ventilator? I don't know. And meanwhile, throughout these 3 weeks of COVID, it's so overwhelming and it's so emotional because one day you feel okay and then the next day you literally feel like you're going to go to the hospital and be put on a vent and die. That's what it feels like. And so I start panicking and I go sit on the couch and I start panicking. Well, if you are an asthmatic like myself, if you're a lung patient and you start panicking, that makes my dogs are barking. That makes your breathing worse. So I go sit on the couch. I'm having a full-on panic attack and hyperventilating. I could not quit crying. I couldn't talk. I couldn't function. And Shane's sitting on the floor. I'm laying on the couch. Shane's sitting on the floor. He's trying to help me. And this lasted for about an hour. And he said, "Do you want me to call your mom?" He said, You're breathing. I can hear you breathing." It was so scary. And he said, "Do you want to talk to your mom? Let's call your mom." And I said, "No." Because one, I don't want to worry her. And two, I said, it'll make it worse. Because I don't know about you guys, but the second, if anything's wrong with me, the second I hear my mom's voice and she says, "Are you okay? I love you," I break. It's over for me. And I didn't want to cry more because I was already not being able to breathe very good. I said, don't call my mom. I said, "I want my boys." And he's like, "Do you want me to call your boys?" And I said, "No." Because just like my mom, that'll make it worse. So I wanted my mom and my boys around me. And my boys, they live 15, 20 minutes down the road. My boys would have rushed over here. They would have come running. But I didn't want to worry them. And I didn't want to cry more. Right. I said, "No, just sit here and hold my hand and tell me that I'm breathing." Because I couldn't get air. I said, "We might have to go to the emergency room." I can't even believe I'm crying now, but it was the worst. And he sat there and he's like, "You're breathing, baby." And he held my hand because he could hear the air and I could hear the air going in my lungs. But my mind was so far gone in a panic attack that I could not bring myself back. I don't know if you guys have ever had a panic attack, but you go so far out into a place of worry that you can't reel yourself back in. You just can't. And so, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I take Ativan every day. It's as needed, and I don't say I take it every day. I take it a lot, almost every day, for sleep and for reasons like this. Because I'll get so worried and freaked out that I can't bring myself back in from this place of non-reality that I've let myself go in my mind that I cannot reel myself back in. And so Shane had to reel me back in. And it took about an hour. And it would stop And then I would calm down and I'd have to focus on a spot on the wall. And then out of nowhere, it would come back and I would start crying and get overwhelmed and panic again. So that happened. It lasted for about an hour and it happened in about 3 cycles. And so Shane walked me through that. It was horrible. And in my mind, I knew I was breathing. But in the other part of my mind, I couldn't breathe. And even through it all, my lungs hurt. It wasn't like an asthma attack where you have an asthma attack, you get some albuterol in you and you're breathing. This was a pain, and it was a scary pain that I couldn't get air in my lungs. Like I couldn't get that weight off my chest. And it freaked me out. And so Saturday morning, I called the clinic because my doctor's closed. They hadn't called me back. I'm kind of disappointed in my doctor. So I've been with him for 10 years, and I'm not going to get off on that because I'll get upset. But could get him to call me back. My husband, the first time, my husband literally had to call up there and choose somebody out. Like, my wife has been your patient for 10 years, and she's a lung patient, and she only has a few questions, and nobody will call her. And so, but I love my doctor. Anyway, whatever. Erase all that. So I remembered when they tested me at Warren, they said, we have a clinic and you come up here anytime you want. Anytime. So by this time, I had finished my antibiotics. I had finished a round of steroids. I went to sleep Friday night. Got up Saturday. And I told Shane, I said, I'm going to the clinic. And so I called up there and I said, you know, blah, blah, blah. You guys said I could pop in if I needed anything. And they said, yes, come on up here. So I go up there, up to Warren Clinic. It's all underground. It's a whole thing. I get a chest x-ray and my chest x-ray is clear. It's clear. But before I knew that, so I got a chest x-ray and then the doctor comes in, sweet little girl. She's a physician's assistant. She comes in and she's like, what's going on? You know, and she knew it was COVID because it's a COVID clinic. And I said, this is what I need from you. Like, I'm 46 years old and this little girl's probably 30. I said, this is what I need from you. I said, you guys did my chest x-ray. I need you to come in here and tell me that I'm okay, that my lungs are clear, and that I'm wasting your time. That's what I need to hear from you right now. And she goes, well, you're wasting my time. Your lungs are clear. And I said, are you serious? And she said, yes. She said, your lungs look great. She said, but I know that they're hurting and I know that they're heavy. And she said, I can hear your whistling. So there was still a whistle in my lungs. She said, I can still hear you whistling and I can tell you're struggling. She said, but there's no pneumonia and there's no fluid. But you're going to be okay. And I said, okay. That's what I needed to hear from you. So my lungs were clear. And I said, can you give me a doctor's note for work? I said, because I'm still so tired. Like, not as tired as I was. I said, but I'm just not ready to go back to work. This was week 4. So 2 weeks I stayed home. 3rd week I went back to work. Week 4 was coming up. Can you write me a doctor's note? She's like, absolutely. I said, I can go back to work midweek or next Monday. That's how I feel. And because she told me my lungs were clear, I was able to have a clear mind. And I said, okay. She said, but you still have a whistle in your lungs. You're still struggling. And she said, so let's do another round of steroids. And I said, okay, whatever you think. So I did a second round of steroids. It tore up my nails, which is why I went and got my nails done. It tore up my nails. It tore up my hair. What I mean when I say tear it up, I mean it just wreaked havoc on my body, like in my own nails. And I'll try to quit crying, but my own nails just got real fragile and flaky and they were breaking. And then it dried out my hair real bad and my hair was just dry and yucky and my eyelashes were falling out. I don't know. This 2 rounds of steroids wreaked havoc on my body, but it opened up my lungs so I could breathe. So we did another round of steroids and I worked from home I worked from home the whole time. As the whole time I was at home with COVID, I worked from home. We got my laptop and my phone and everything set up so I could still recruit from home. But I only worked when I was able. They didn't expect me to work at all. They said, but if you feel like it, you can. So the whole time I was home with COVID, I worked a little bit here and there. And I worked for an amazing company who didn't skip a beat and paid me for everything. I was barely able to work from home, and they didn't skip me a dime. They still paid me everything. They took care of me. In my husband's company, he works for You Build It. He was home, and they gave him a full paycheck. It was incredible. His company and my company, they took care of us, and they paid us anyway. And my boss said, you don't have to work. You're set up if you want to, but you don't have to. So some days I'd work for an hour, I'd sleep, or I'd work for 2 hours. I did what I could. Anyway, so that fourth week, uh, I don't mean to get so emotional, but COVID's emotional. So that fourth week, I worked from home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And that second round of steroids changed my life. Getting a clear lungs x-ray changed my mental well-being because my mental and emotional well-being had changed. That affected me physically. A second round of steroids, and I went back to work on Thursday. So I stayed home Monday, Tuesday, the week 4. I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from home, part-time, did what I could, and really, really slept a lot and rested because I knew I was going to be going back. And so Thursday, I went back to work, and Friday, I went back to work. And so when I went back to work Thursday, I had him swab me again, and my test was negative. So I got a negative test, a clear lung x-ray, and it was pretty incredible. So got that taken care of, and so I worked Thursday and Friday, and that made me tired, but I was negative, but there's still residual. I'm still feeling residual from COVID. Shane is still feeling residual from COVID. Right now his throat hurts and he feels tired. So he's, even after 4 weeks, it just hangs on. It's kind of like when you get the flu. If you've ever had the flu, you might be done with the flu in 6 days, but it takes you 4, 5, 6 weeks to get your energy back, to get back to normal. COVID's the same thing for me and Shane. It has been. So he's down there asleep on the couch. What time is it? It's 8:30. I'm already up here in bed. Shane's down there. He's already taken 2 naps this evening, so we're still trying to get our energy back. But and we went out for Wyatt's birthday, and me and the girls went out and got our nails done today, and went to lunch and had a employee appreciation day. And so I've been out in the world. I'm just not at my Amy pace. You guys know I go 90 to nothing, and I'm just not there yet. The girls went out tonight to Hard Rock, and I said I'm not ready to be around that many people. I'm not, like, emotionally and mentally. I'm still kind of in a messed up place, and I'm not ready. It's too people-y for me. Let's just put it that way. The casino's too people for me. So I don't gamble because honestly, gambling pisses me off. And I don't like losing $80 inside of 60 seconds. So I just don't do it. But I was going to go hang out with the girls. And, there's restaurants in there. And there's, we were going to dance a little bit and maybe have a glass of wine. And but I was like, I told the girls, I said, I'm not ready. COVID is sweeping Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is one of the most COVID states right now, most COVID positive states right now. And I said, antibodies or no, I don't know, but in my mind, it's too people-y and I'm not going. I love y'all, and I'm going to go eat with you. We're going to get our nails done, but I'm not going out to Hard Rock. So they went and did that and sent me pictures. I came home and I'm tired tonight. So, Shane's okay and I'm okay. Um, it was very, very hard. There was moments of being scared, moments of thinking we're going to be on a ventilator, and there was a few spots where Shane got scared, and um, Riley also tested positive for COVID, but she's 16 years old and she was asymptomatic. The only reason she got tested is because she was out running errands with her mom and they swung by the Warren Clinic and they swabbed her. And sure enough, her mom's like, "We're out and about. Let's just go ahead and do it. You've been around Amy and your dad. Let's just see what's going on." And thankfully, because Shane and I were down, we were down. Dalton went and stayed with Grams. Dalton's been at Grams for 6 weeks now. And he'll probably stay there for a few months just because he's having a good time at Graham's house. But we made the kids leave when we found out we were sick. Riley went to Florida. Um, Dalton went to Graham's. Riley comes back from Florida. She went with a big group of girls. So she comes back from Florida. 3 of the girls tested positive. But they're 16. Like, it didn't touch them. It didn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. So she was asymptomatic. And I said, well, if you're going to get COVID, it's good to get it now because you're in the house with me and your dad. And so we all just hung out in the house and we quarantined. So I think Riley lost her taste for a day and that was it. So thank God that Riley didn't get sick. She just didn't. But she hunkered down the house with us. And so everybody's okay now. But like I said, we still feel a residual of we don't have our energy back yet. Shane still has a little bit of a sore throat. That could be something else. Um, I feel fine. I just don't have my energy back yet, and I still need to take a couple Tylenol every day just for a slight headache. But other than that, I'm golden and I am breathing like you wouldn't believe. So I didn't mean for this video to drag out for 35 minutes, but that's what's happening. I miss you guys. You would not believe the empties that I have piled up in my closet. We have got to do, listen, we have to do an empties video. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I don't even know what's in there anymore. Like, I don't even know what's in my trash, but it is out of control and the bag's overflowing and it needs to happen. So hopefully this weekend I'll be able to bring you um, an empties video because I'm sure there's lots of cool stuff in there. Lots of cool stuff. Okay, so that's where I've been. That's what's going on. Any of you are, oh, any of you who are have COVID or your family members have COVID, I'm here if you want to talk. Um, just leave me a comment. I'll be praying. Leave their names. I'll be praying for them. So before I came down with COVID, I lost a dear sweet uncle. He was like, I don't want to talk about it because it's too much. And people say, oh, I lost my uncle. This man was one of the greatest men I've ever known in my whole life. He was a good man. And y'all know I was raised by a single mom. So he was like a father figure to me and my sister. And um, that was hard. It was so hard I couldn't even go to his funeral. And we lost him because of COVID. COVID took him. Shortly after that, my cousin Deidre. Hi, if you're watching. I love you, and I'm so thankful that you're okay. My cousin Deidre, who I adore, got real sick with COVID, and we were worried about her, but she's okay. And then me and Shane and Riley got it. So, and then another dear nurse friend of mine is in ICU right now. And every day, it's like he puts up a post on Facebook. He's like, they're moving me to ICU and I'm not good. So his name is Bob. So it'd be really great if y'all could throw up a prayer for Bob. COVID is the worst. So that's my story. Didn't mean to drag it out this long, but whatever. I love you guys. Praying for you guys and your family that everybody stays well and healthy. It's real. Um, it has touched my family profoundly. And you don't think it can happen to you, but it can. And I'm just pray for my YouTube family in Jesus' name that you guys all stay well and healthy, and that your family and your friends stay well and healthy in Jesus' name. By His stripes, we are healed. Okay. I love you guys. Stop crying. Stop crying. I love you guys. The Lord loves you more. And I will see you in the next video.